We begin with Charlie, Hugh Jackman, driving through the countryside, setting up a trailer to a county fair, while listening to a wonderful relaxing music. He'll be pitted against an 800-pound bull by his old robot, Ambush. However, instead of the agreed-upon match-up, the ring captain rigs the battle and utilizes a 2000 fighting bull. Charlie and Ambush, on the other hand, hold their own until Charlie is distracted by a female in the stands. The bull seizes the opportunity and slashes the bot's leg from behind. Ambush jumps up on one leg in the hopes of hopping to victory, but the broken bot can't compete with the bull. Charlie bets more money on the battle than he has, and then flees town before Ricky, the bookie, arrives to collect the bill. Meanwhile, his son, Max, Dakota Goyo, who was in full custody of his mother, loses her and must be turned over to his father, Charlie, per Texas state law. His aunt offers to take care, and Charlie blackmails her wealthy husband into signing the papers for $100,000. He receives half of the money up front and spends it on Noisy Boy, an ancient first-generation champion bot. He gets it to obey his directions with the help of Max and Bailey, Evangeline Lilly, his former love and the daughter of the guy who guided his human boxing career years before. However, due to his passion and excitement, he fails to properly train and prepare the new bot, and instead throws it into a fight right away. The bot's fame propels it into the top fight against Midas, but Charlie's inexperience and showboating cost him the match, and he loses not only the money but also the famous bot. After his last bot breaks down, Charlie sends Max to the junkyard to look for components to repair one of the older bots. Max discovers a buried robot after a dangerous tumble, but Charlie doesn't recognize the potential. Charlie says he'll think about it if Max finds it, so Max stays up all night to find the bot. They reboot it after bringing it to the gym and discover it has a unique shadow function, but Charlie simply views that as a piece of value, whilst Max sees an awesome machine. The bot was designed as a sparring bot for higher-class bots, and it was Generation 2, barely. It was built to withstand a lot of punishment and to replicate the movements of other bots in order to assist the combatants train, but it was never meant to fight. After failing to obtain a loan from an old acquaintance, Max persuades Charlie to fight the robot. With the shadow function, he stays up all night teaching it rudimentary, unskilled fighting moves. He even establishes a friendship with the robot, whose name is Adam, which he found while cleaning it off. Charlie takes it to the zoo, an underground, lower-class ring in the ruins of an abandoned animal park for unlicensed fights with no regulations. Max wagers big against the ringleader, despite Charlie's wishes. Max, with the help of Charlie, pulls off an upset triumph. They schedule another fight using the money and momentum they have gained. Charlie notices Max dancing, and the robot uses his shadow feature to emulate the dance. Max recognizes that he lacks the necessary combat skills to teach it how to fight effectively. Charlie says that the dance may be their flair, and that if Max is the showman and mechanic, he'll agree to teach it to fight. Max takes Noisy Boy's speech function and leaves Charlie to his own devices. Adam becomes a rising star thanks to the bot's greater durability and speed, as well as its shadow capability, which mimics Charlie's human boxing. Max spends his winnings on spare parts and maintenance for Adam, while Charlie gradually pays off previous obligations. It's not long before professional promoters identify Max, Charlie, and Adam and offer them to compete in the WRB, or Worldwide Robot Boxing. Twin Cities, an Asian robot with 2 heads and users, is pitted against them. After being beaten into a corner, Charlie discovers Twin Cities' flaw, and while the controllers are arguing, Adam lays down the rhythm. Adam is declared the winner after a tough metal-on-metal slugfest. Max grabs the microphone and openly dares Zeus to a duel when he enters the ring as the champion. In robot boxing, Zeus is the undisputed champion. In reality, it has stayed on top by annihilating all of its opponents. With Zeus, no opponent bot has ever lasted more than 2 rounds. The champion botmaker, the once retired creator who made the Generation I champion Noisy Boy, built this champion bot. It was commissioned by a wealthy Russian oligarch to be the best fighter in the world, and it is, thanks to a revolutionary algorithm that analyzes and overrides the combat patterns of other bots. For Max and Charlie, the news isn't all good. After the fight with Twin Cities, Ricky, Charlie's old debt from the county fair, catches up with him. Ricky's goons apprehend Charlie and Max after a botched escape attempt. They have no qualms about abusing an 11-year-old boy and stealing his money, but they go a step further by abusing Charlie, to within an inch of his life. Charlie recognizes the risk in Max's lifestyle and arranges for his aunt to pick him up and transport him away from the danger. The aunt and uncle gain custody after an emotional sequence in which Max explains that all he ever wanted was for Charlie to fight for him. Charlie knows what he should do for Max after some thought, obtaining consent for the fight against Zeus. He arrives up on the aunt's porch and apologizes to Max uncomfortably. Despite her reservations, she agrees that Charlie can keep Max for one night. Emphasize end. They are the underdogs in a championship bout versus an undefeated world champion. The match is generating a lot of buzz, with 5-1 chances on Adam even surviving one of the 5 rounds versus Zeus, on which Ricky has staked $100,000. Adam is nearly instantaneously knocked out by Zeus when the fight begins. Charlie abandons the automated directions in favor of individual maneuvers, and he manages to keep up with Zeus for a little longer. Adam is still getting beaten up by Zeus, but he makes it to the finish of round 1. Ricky is dragged from his seat by his rival's goons because he lacks the funds to cover his bets. In round 2, Adam smacks Zeus with a few unexpected blows, throwing its automated sensors off balance. Charlie and the bot get into a groove, and Adam and Zeus take a lot of damage. Adam has lasted longer against Zeus than any other bot before him, because to both his excellent durability as a sparring bot and his non-standard moves taught to him by a human fighter, Charlie. Adam is cornered in a corner near the end of round 4, and his voice recognition software is damaged. With the upper hand, Zeus prepares to end it, but the ending bell prevents him from hitting the final blow. Max persuades Charlie to fight with the shadow function, and despite the serious damage, Adam has a new decisive advantage due to the increased speed and improbability of shadowing a real human in real time. Charlie and Adam retaliate with a vengeance. After dealing Zeus blow after blow, his developer becomes frustrated, aborts the automatic software, and takes control of the bot manually. But it's all for naught because Charlie is misusing the shadow function. Charlie begins to take down Zeus for the championship, but the bell rings, signaling the conclusion of the 5th and final round. The judges vote in favor of Zeus, so he keeps the crown, but Charlie and Max's bot Adam receives the honorary title of People's Champion, despite the crowd's choice. Thank you for watching the video. Subscribe for more videos.